Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the Extra Point. I'm here with Zach.
Yep.
And Callie. I finally got it right after 3 years.
Yeah, just 3 years. That's all it took.
Let's talk football for a minute.
No, it's not.
Anybody watching any of the high school games?
I did not. So I was reading Twitter and seeing some of the scores coming out. So the one I was most focused on was the 4A matchup between Marshall County and Greenville. And unfortunately, Greenville won that one. So
and I saw some, and this is like 2 years in a row now. Oakland's had to travel, I think, to Maryville to play them and lost again. And, it was a trick play. Maryville pulls out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think Maryville even had lost. I don't understand why Oakland had to travel to Maryville. Can you shed any light on that?
I honestly haven't been paying attention to 6A because I don't have a team invested in 6A, so I wasn't.
Or how they seed these teams, or who determines who's home.
Yeah.
Because I thought Oakland was the #1 team in the state, and then they have to travel. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense at all. But I don't know. I haven't covered 6A, so I kind of keep up with it. So I'm not going to pretend like I have all the knowledge.
Well, that doesn't like he does all the other time back in the newsroom, doesn't he?
Yeah, no comment.
All right. Anyway, let's talk high school action. 1A, South Pittsburgh lost.
Yeah, that was shocking.
But it was a tough team. But Cornersville, which is right out of Lewisburg, I think, mid-state team won, so they'll take on Greenback for the championship. So we're going to root for the Middle Tennessee teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think so. Tyner will take on Union City for a championship, so neither one of those are from Middle Tennessee. Alcoa, which has always been a tough school, takes on Covington for the championship, which is actually our new publisher is from Covington.
Yep.
So I'm sure he'll be rooting for Covington. 4A Marshall, you just said it, lost. However, they will take on Springfield, which is just north of Nashville, so that's another mid-state team in 4A action. 5A Knoxville Catholic versus Beach, and Beach is just right out of Hendersonville, one of actually my rival schools because I went to Hendersonville. So go Beach to win that one. And Oakland.
Well, we got a THS alum who's coaching over at Knoxville Catholic. So
do we? Oh, didn't know that.
Steve Matthews.
Okay.
Coaching for Knoxville Catholic. So.
Yeah, he used to actually coach for Moore County a few years back. But I'm still going to root for the Middle Tennessee team. Sorry, Steve. 6A Oakland lost. Once again, we said lost by a trick play, throw back to the quarterback, wide open. But Cane Ridge won. And Cane Ridge isn't an old school. I'm not sure they've been around very long. But they will be playing for a championship versus Maryville next week. So good luck, Cane Ridge. We wanted to shout out to anybody local. I know you guys have got some shout outs. We're going to talk basketball for a second. So if you got a shout out or just want to go straight into talking basketball, go ahead.
Good football news with your
okay. We'll start out with, since we were just talking about high school. We had 7 Tullahoma high school players who were named to the all-region football team, including Nick Barstad and Amari Burks, who were selected as Player of the Years. Nick Barstad was selected as the region's Offensive Player of the Year, and Amari Burks was selected as the Athlete of the Year for the region. So terrific on those guys for that. That's great, especially from where this program has been the last couple of years. So that's amazing. And then on the basketball floor, there's always good news here in Tullahoma. We got 2 3-1 teams at the high school right now, so that's pretty impressive. Boys are coming off of a 58-50 win over Moore County last night. Fortunately, the girls lost their first game of the season last night, but Moore County is a really good girls basketball team. Then on top of that, you got Motlow, who's ranked number 9 in the country, who's 6-1 on the season, and will host number 18 Georgia Highland tonight. That'll be an exciting matchup. And then at middle school level, we got the West boys basketball team continues to dominate. They're 7-0 on the season, coming off of a win at Warren County. So go Bobcats.
Yeah,
it's been impressive so far.
So at least there's good news because in Tullahoma basketball hasn't really been too chipper the last couple of years.
No, but there's plenty of room for plenty. Look at it, and it's exciting now. So.
All right. You wanted to talk briefly about Franklin County, I think.
Yeah, Rebel girls won Tuesday night over Smyrna, 82-32, puts them at 3-1 on the season. So there's a Rebels team that's doing well. The boys are struggling a little bit this season, lost to Smyrna as well. They're 1-3 on the season. Huntland girls also 3-2 on the season. They won over Whitwell The boys, who are winless as of right now, fell also to Whitwell. So,
Might make for an interesting matchup. The girls versus Tullahoma.
Yeah.
They scheduled to play down the road.
They will be.
Yeah. So that'd be 2, 3, and 1 teams right now, and I think it'd be a rivalry.
Yeah.
Basketball's
County and
different. It's
Franklin.
not the 1A, 2A,
Yeah,
3A, 4A.
yeah.
It's still what 1A, 2A, 3A, or
Yeah, you still got the triple A in that one. So,
so. And Tullahoma is 2A,
Oklahoma is District A triple A.
8
in
AAA in basketball, and
I don't know.
Franklin County is triple
A
A. I'm
triple
sure.
A as well. They're in the same district.
So they will match up, and they will most likely have a home and away game. If that's
Yes.
the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll
So
meet up twice.
that'll be a good matchup, good game to go see when the Rebels come to town or when the Wildcats come to Franklin County. All right, let's just skip over and start talking college football. I know I didn't want to
Don't
talk.
we have picks to talk about?
We have to talk picks.
We
at the
absolutely
end.
do. You can't run and hide when you've had a bad week,
All
Joe.
right. I think y'all drugged me last week before the game.
No,
Last
you want it to be different.
Yeah, well, that didn't work.
Yeah, you saw
Callie
that.
went 5-3. Zach went 5-3 last week, and I went 3-5.
3 and 5.
Anyway, by going 3-5, I gave the lead to Zach now at 54-33. I'm at 52-35, and Callie's one behind me at 51-36 for the week. So we're going to get to picks in a minute for this week. We got a lot of good, basically conference championship games coming
Pretty
up.
much.
Let's talk I would almost say this not quite as big, but let's talk Auburn v. Alabama first. Zach, that was one you picked. Callie, me and you took Alabama.
Yeah.
It was a painful game to watch.
I mean, Auburn pretty much just dominated or pretty much controlled the game from the start. I mean, they gave up the lead once whenever Alabama took a 14-10 lead, but they immediately answered back and then just never gave up the lead at that point again. So it was really Auburn heavily dominated game for the most part.
When I saw somebody post something on Facebook, a friend of mine said that, he wanted to hand it to Auburn, that Alabama just didn't have enough gas in the tank. And my comment was, I don't think they ever filled up. What did you see in the game?
I mean, Auburn definitely, had something to prove, and they went in there and took care of business. It was great. I thought it was a great game.
Yeah.
That was a
I
good
mean,
game.
You look forward to football games like that where it's not just a blowout, and it was, everybody, I don't care what kind of fan you were, you probably tuned in to at least 10, 15 minutes of that game.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you watched for college football during the year. So,
What I enjoyed was all the memes afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
Alabama fans.
well, I mean, they're not perfect. They're going to lose a game. You like to see them lose to a rival, and
And this game has gone to bite them in the butt twice now in the last 3
right.
years.
Yeah.
I feel as Tennessee fans, we kind of feel their pain with Vanderbilt.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that one in a minute. I thought it was a good game. It seemed like at the end it was just like, the 2 mistakes, the snapping the ball, that just totally killed them. It just did not look like the same Alabama team. However, this Auburn team, they only got 2 losses on the year. They lost to Clemson away, and they lost to LSU in LSU. They were both close games.
Yeah, that LSU one, they just lost the lead. So,
They were both in close games, and we'll talk the top 4 here in a minute because Auburn now is squeaked into that top 4. Let's talk UT football for just a second. We have a coach as of Sunday around 2 o'clock, right?
Yeah, they allegedly had a coach. Yeah.
Allegedly. As of Sunday around 8 o'clock, we didn't have a coach anymore.
No.
So I saw you posted something. Why don't you speak briefly about it?
I mean, there's so many reasons why he was not a good fit. Obviously, there's the more vocal. Let's just say there's more vocalized ones than others, or ones that played well better on the news feed. Because I think the media, and we are part of the media, but I think the media picked and choose what sounded best for their.
I don't 100% know that. Social media is a giant bully.
Yeah, it is.
It gives a lot of people a voice.
Yeah.
And I think that.
But I think Vols fans have been targeted just for that whole Sandusky thing. There was more to their backlash than just saying just that association. with that. The fact that the fact that his issues at Rutgers, even though he had that 11-2 season, and also when he was at Tampa Bay, there's a bigger picture.
Well, I saw stuff out there, but it's always a he said, she said.
Well,
Or
absolutely.
coaching 10-year-old girls, I never get the complete story on this side and this side.
Yeah,
It's usually
yeah.
somewhere in the middle. Speaking of social media, though, do we see a change in hiring a coach nowadays? I mean, is there that? It seemed to me like it all changed on public opinion.
Yeah, it really did. And I don't know if this is the way that college football is going to be from now on, if social media is going to have that large of an impact or not, or if this was just a certain situation that, where they just wanted to gauge the reaction first. That's what somebody brought up to me, is that maybe they released this to, sort of gauge it.
Seemed kind of stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean-
it wasn't the best PR move.
No, it wasn't.
No, that was an
I was
experiment.
surprised the athletic director's not looking for a new job.
I would
Well,
like to
you
see
believe
that.
some of those other reports
Yeah.
that might be in the works. So.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he chose to go the path of hiring. He put out there, I read a story, said, hey, I don't need to hire a PR firm to help me find a replacement. That's what the last athletic director did, and then the Charlie Strong debacle
Well, I
when
think,
we got Derek.
yeah, and I think though he's known for being my way or the highway type of an AD, and so I think he wanted that very much to be his decision. Well, then you can have all the blame too, because he's went and made it this is a dumpster fire.
But that
of
doesn't
epic
seem like it was.
proportions.
That doesn't seem like it was his way or the highway. It seemed like
Well, I think he wanted it to be until the
he got ran
political.
over.
Well, I think even with the fans'
He was
reactions,
playing Frogger.
well, I think even the fans' reactions being what they were, had not political, the representatives got
Oh,
involved in
yeah.
it. The mayor, from what I understand, called. Congressman had called and weighed in on, put their 2 cents. I don't think it had gotten to that level, because I mean, if he's really listened to the fans, an interview had already been made with T. Martin by this point, because that's what the fans are ultimately wanting right now, and the former.
Well, I don't
players.
think T. Martin is the coach. He just does not have the experience yet. I mean, sure, put him in there, I guess, if you want to, but he hasn't led a big college yet. He's been a coordinator.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I mean,
that's
he's
right.
young,
He's also a favorite. Joe Biddle. Oh, I wish.
I saw it. I didn't get a chance to read
It's
it.
a great read of talking about who your next coach needs to be. It needs somebody who relates to the team, is good for recruiting.
Pride.
Yeah.
Well, let's get off UT's back, because apparently everybody in the SEC has been on UT's back, considering they basically just had their worst
Yeah.
season ever. They went 0-8 in conference play. They really, you come in there and win one SEC game next year. You've done a good
Yeah, you've
job.
already already.
Anyway, let's talk top four. The latest polls came out, and the top four for the playoff right now is Clemson, Auburn, Oklahoma, and Wisconsin. Of course, that could change with this week's games and when we make our picks. Zach, you said you thought that was right.
yeah, I think they nailed it exactly right. At this point, I think that's the top four now,
Well, I mean, why does Auburn deserve just to inch in? I mean, I know why they do, I guess. Why do you think they do?
because they're playing for the SEC championship.
Yeah.
Well, and they beat
And-
number one Alabama
Yeah.
and beat number one Georgia.
It was
Yeah.
exactly that too. You look
Why
at
does Clemson deserve it? Because they're playing for the ACC championship.
Yeah,
They lost to Syracuse, for
yeah,
gosh
especially
sakes.
early in the season though, and we all know that early season losses don't hurt you as much
But
as late season
that's
losses.
bull crap.
I mean, it is what it is, but
So
that's
Alabama
the
gets
truth in college
gets
football.
screwed because they lose to one of the number one teams in the
But
country.
Alabama's schedule has not been, I don't know.
But they've been dominating teams. So I'm not advocating for Alabama one bit. I'm advocating.
Well, Ohio State always managed to squeak in there somehow, and I feel like they're one of the most overrated teams, and they always manage to squeak into the Final Four somehow.
Well, and I think Clemson's been somewhat tested. They played an Auburn team, but Florida State's not that strong of a team this year. Louisville's not that strong of a team this year.
Mhm.
So I'm not that impressed with their schedule. I don't think it's fair that Alabama automatically gets knocked out, but they also aren't playing for an SEC championship. So, but anyway,
You got to win the game.
who's your top four?
I'm with Zach. I agree. I feel it's spot on. I like this top four right now because it's so not the norm, I guess. We've shook it up quite a bit.
Now, the only question in my mind is how good is Wisconsin?
Yeah,
That's the only
exactly.
question none of us really had. Is how good is Wisconsin?
Exactly.
Well, unfortunately, they play in like the West of the Big Ten, and that's not been the strongest conference.
Yeah.
I think some things are going to shake out this week, but then you're going to have people griping. You got Clemson versus Miami. What if Georgia beats Auburn? Now
Yeah.
Georgia's like, hey, we're back.
Well, this is where
What
you
if Miami beats Clemson?
this is
Yeah.
where you
Shake up.
expand your playoff, and that way you
Ohio
just
State,
That'd be
question.
the easiest.
Yeah,
Ohio
questions
State beats
start to go
Wisconsin.
away.
Ohio State's we're in.
Yeah, well, that's why you got to expand your playoff.
I mean, it go back to a couple of years ago when it actually was almost better to not play for a championship at the end of the season
Yeah.
because you don't have to risk the loss. right?
Exactly.
So, but anyway, we're going to talk picks for a minute. I guess this is where I'm going to make my dramatic 7-0.
Oh, is this
I'm
where it
going to come
happens?
back and come to victory. All right.
Oh, whatever.
Miami stunk it up last week, and probably why Mark Ritt got let go of Georgia.
Oh my goodness! Don't-
Yeah, that one loss, that's what hurt him.
Well, it's the one loss to the team that you're supposed to beat. They should have beat Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
So
you can say
Clemson.
that about everybody who's gotten knocked off or surprised
Well,
beat.
I don't doubt it, but
That's why they play the game,
you're
Joe.
you're
That's
at
why
the
they play the
finish line.
game.
You're at the finish line. It's time to finish, and they didn't finish.
No.
They went to Pittsburgh and got beat. Clemson versus Miami. Callie, you got some heavy words for me. Who do you think's going to win?
Well, I think Clemson wins this one. I was shocked at Miami, but they played close all year long, and they finally get caught up with them. But
I agree.
Clemson's defense, I think, is going to take care of this.
I agree, Clemson's defense, and I think, again, they're still trying to prove themselves coming off that Syracuse loss earlier this year, and I think Miami proved they are vulnerable. So I'm going Clemson.
I kind of agree with you. I think Miami's played in some close games. I mean, I think playing in close games helps you win them, but they played in close games against teams that they probably shouldn't have played in.
Yeah.
They look better as of late, but Clemson is a very strong team, and I'm going to take Clemson in this one as well. All right, move on down. Zach, you said this was the game that you weren't sure about, Ohio State versus Wisconsin.
And I'm still not sure about it now that you put me on the spot. 2 weeks ago, I probably would have said Wisconsin wins this game, but then I see what happens whenever JT Barrett gets hurt in that Ohio State-Michigan State game or Michigan game, and the backup quarterback looked really good against Michigan and pretty much ran at will against Michigan. So I'm going Wisconsin still on this one. I still have my question marks on how good Wisconsin is, but I would not be surprised if Ohio State got the win.
And I'm going to put Callie down for Wisconsin because she hates Urban Meyer and Ohio State.
That's right. Go ahead.
Uh,
But I think Wisconsin has a lot to prove, and I feel like there was a couple of plays for the Michigan-Ohio State game came down again to a couple of plays, and I feel like Michigan, minus those couple of plays, could have beat them easy.
Well, now look at it this way. If Ohio State doesn't, it's kind of a must-win for both teams.
It is,
Because
yeah.
if Wisconsin loses, they're out of the playoff. If Ohio State wins, they
Probably
might
back
get
into
into the playoff
Maybe.
top. I'm going Ohio State.
Ooh.
All right, let's go. This is going to be a weird one. But Memphis versus UCF. Now, I watched that UCF South Florida game the other day. It was a good game.
It was.
So Memphis versus UCF, two actually strong schools.
Yeah.
Callie, what do you think?
I'm gonna go with Memphis on this. I just
Have a feeling.
have a feeling.
Why you got the feeling on Memphis? I got the feeling on UCF. So I'm going to go Central Florida.
And it's hard we don't get to see these schools play a lot, but Memphis can put some points up.
Yes, they can. They did it against UCLA earlier this year.
I think, and they had a tough test this past week against the team they played. Can't remember who it was, maybe Houston. But anyway, I don't usually do this, but I'm going with Memphis. I think there's a little bit of
Well, if we got an in-state team still kicking around,
Yeah.
we need to support the in-state team.
not Miami's for Houston.
Yeah.
All right, Stanford versus USC. Stanford was one that kicked me in the butt last week, so I took Notre Dame. Stanford didn't do well early in the season, playing very well as of late.
They are.
I think Stanford wins this game.
This is another one I was torn on. I'm going with USC. There's something just tells me to go Trojans in this one.
They have disappointed me so many times this year, though.
I know,
But
they
it's-
have me too.
Stanford, but they play the close. Well, it was close at times against Notre Dame. I gotta go with Stanford.
It's kind of scary.
It is a lot.
All right,
scary.
we'll put Cali on the hot seat this time. Oklahoma versus TCU.
I'm gonna have to go with Oklahoma because of where they set in things, and they need that win.
Have to have that win stay in the top four. What do you think?
I think Oklahoma, I think they dominated. I mean, the hardest thing to do in sports or one of the hardest things in college football is to beat a team twice in the same season. But I'm still going Oklahoma this one. I think they showed a lot the first time whenever they just dominated TCU. So I'm going Oklahoma.
I think it's kind of hard to go against Oklahoma. Baker Mayfield's playing some of his best football. I'd say he's a shoe-in for the Heisman. And even if he loses this game, he'll probably still get it. I'm going to go Oklahoma on this one. All right, this is the weird one. Fresno State or Boise State. Probably two teams we haven't watched all year long.
Yeah.
Nope.
But Boise State's always up there in the top. Fresno State has a pretty good record. And I wrote it may be an actual neutral site. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
So,
You knew.
no,
I'll say Boise State.
Callie's going to go Boise State. She just guessing.
I am just guessing. I haven't seen these guys play all year.
Well, whenever I made my pick, it was based on that. I thought this was going to be at Boise State playing on
Oh,
the Smurf
just take
turf.
the
Going to be.
pick.
I'm still going to go Boise State as well, just because of the history of that program.
'Cause I'd already
If you
put-
have to go to Boise State playing on that Smurf turf is.
Yeah, and I'd already put my J down by Boise State, so he was like, I'm just going to go to Jose Stanley.
Yeah,
right.
That's it.
All right, so I'm taking Boise State as well. Okay, Georgia versus Auburn. Once again, it's hard to beat a team twice in the same season.
It is.
But Auburn dominated Georgia.
They did.
So, Zach, why don't you start with this time?
I'm going to go still with Auburn in this one. You know, Auburn still has the question marks about its first string running back being out. So I don't know how they will be health wise, but I still think they have enough to beat Georgia in this one. So
Virtually a home game.
it is
for Georgia.
exactly. It's going to be playing in Atlanta. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going with Auburn. I just feel like they ultimately have more of the momentum. Their defense.
And I agree with you. I think that Auburn's got the momentum. But I do think Georgia was embarrassed. I think they have something to prove. And I think it's virtually a home game for Georgia. I'm looking for a letdown from Auburn. And
Ooh, gonna pick the upset.
all right.
I am going to pick the upset, especially even after Georgia got beat down. But Kirby's smart, isn't dumb.
No.
And I think he'll have a game plan. And, you know, I can see this coming down to a 1-point game. So, anyway, let's talk Marcus Mariota. Now, I've not been ultimately impressed with Marcus Mariota the last few games. Mariota throws 2 more interceptions again. Helps
He did.
get Tennessee in a hole.
He's not at 100%.
They
though.
really probably didn't deserve to even win the game on Sunday. but
No,
they did.
it was a terrible game. I
Yeah,
saw
it was
a lot
like
of it. It was.
If Indianapolis doesn't basically hand them 7 points on the 4-yard line,
Yeah.
I don't think they win it, and I think their playoff aspirations are over. I know a win is a win, but once again, I
Especially in the
wasn't
NFL.
impressed. I have a question here. What is up with the Titans' offense and their run game, number one, Callie? Their
I don't
offensive
know.
line doesn't seem.
Yeah, it just seems lackluster. I mean, like I said, it was from what I saw, it was sloppy at times. But
I mean, they put it together at the very end.
Yeah, well then that's been their kind of their calling card
They
all
do it
season.
whenever they need to do it.
Exactly. They put enough gas. They just get to the finish line.
Welcome to the Pittsburgh Steelers mindset
Yeah,
for the last
right.
couple of seasons. That's exactly what it is. Just do enough to get the win. So
Don't know. And
Well, and then because the Steelers blew out the Titans, and then last week they struggled against a Green Bay team as a backup quarterback.
Yep.
So
it's just, I think,
is that just the NFL?
I think that's just the NFL.
I think so too.
But I mean, but I'm back to Mariota. He's not playing at 100% either. So I give him kind of credit for coming back like he has and getting his clock clean at times and getting up and keep on going. I mean, interceptions doesn't speak well for you, but he does get some props from me for that. So
Zach, you got anything you want to add?
No, but I would like I've been a Mariota defender this whole year, but yeah, those interceptions he threw against Indianapolis were pretty miserable throws. So I cannot quite figure out why this offense hasn't clicked whenever
Yeah.
it really needs to. It needs to just come out and dominate Houston on Sunday. If it does that, I think that'll relax quite a bit of people, especially against Houston's defense. I know Houston's defense is missing J.J. Watt, but I still think Houston's defense is pretty solid.
And they played very good. Jadavian Clowney was a beast the other day. I watched some of that game. And, you know, I think it all goes back to the fact that last year one of their strongest attributes was their run game and their offensive line. And right now, their offensive line isn't – I don't know if it's DeMarco Murray. I mean, you know, Derrick Henry was getting it done.
Yeah, it was.
So I don't know if Derrick Henry's going to be promoted to the number one tailback. But, you know, it's the combination of both of them being able to smash and dash and get big chunks of yardage. Anyway, they play Houston this week. I'm going to that game.
Are you?
Yes, I have tickets.
I will probably see you there because I just got approved for a credential, so I'm probably going to be down there on the sidelines.
Well, I won't be on the sideline.
well, that's okay.
I'll say
I won't
hi.
even be
If I
there.
pull out my little press pass, can you get down?
Yeah, I'll say hi.
I appreciate it. Anyway, the Predators. Let's talk to them real quick when we get out here. As of last night, they won. Over the last 11 games, there are 9 wins, one loss, and 1 overtime loss. It's very impressive.
Yeah.
Since November, there was a trade back in early November. The Predators are 10 wins, 2 losses, and 1 overtime loss. So they only have 1 more game left in November. Overall, they're 15-6-3. So you can see they started the season, 5-4-2?
Yeah.
And they've gone on this impressive run. So, you know, they have a game tomorrow night against Vancouver. And then I think they're going to be hitting the road for a little while. If you get a chance, go see a Predators.
Yeah,
Go do it.
absolutely.
I think you maybe watched it or you just see the highlights.
Just saw the highlights.
So it was a good game last night. They beat
I've watched a little bit of it. I did. We
they
had
beat
it
the
on.
Chicago Blackhawks 3-2 last
Yeah.
night. So that being said, I guess we're done for today. You can always reach Zach at.
Reach me on Twitter at Zach Birdsong.
You can always get in touch with our favorite Callie at.
Newsgal 27.
And we appreciate you folks joining us each week. We hope you have a good weekend.